You're at the heartbeat. You're at. You're at the heartbeat. You're at. You're at the heartbeat. You're at. You're at the heartbeat. You're at.
But here's the thing, frickin' banjo and no fanfare. This is all good for us if we don't lose our minds like banjo. Banjo has lost his mind. It's pissing me off. If they're lying, I'm lying.
But when you deceive, you're actually trying very hard to set things up in such a way to ensure or guarantee as much as possible that the truth will not be discovered.
Was 24-hour sun in Antarctica acted? Quick and summary video that questions the veracity of the footage at the Union Glacier base. The first question is, why did the channel The Final Experiment remove all the videos it had posted of Antarctica from its channel? Why it would have been the first time that flight radar followed the flight route from Punta Arenas to the Union Glacier base, where over 100 people have been flying for the marathon for 10 years. Why are all the shots of the interviewees taken from a fixed camera like the astronauts do on the alleged ISS? Why is there this telephoto lens that should also move up and down in addition to turning to follow the sun when you only show a video, this one, where you can see the shadow of this mountain, where the other shadows are dubious, and if we use filters, you can clearly see the break between a background and the foreground. Why don't you see anyone go beyond this point?
For somebody like me and like you, we've never been in the South.
Never been in the South.
Never been in the South. Never been in the South. Never been in the South.
I know them. I've met them. I've hung out with them. I consider them good friends.
So at least we know we have two solid guys.
Hello, my dear friends. Hope you guys are doing fine today. I have a lot of things to talk about. This whole Artemis too. A lot of people waking up. So let me shout out to all of my dear friends who are here today. Yuko, my dear sister in Christ here in Japan. Hello, Yuko. Welcome. So happy you're here. Tammy, how are you, Tammy? Krista is in the house. So many good people. Alberta is in the house. How are you? Arizona is in the house too. Thanks for being here today. Hello, Amanda. Welcome to the show. So many good people are here. Jairo from Brazil, the house. TJ New Moon. Matthew Hakim from Southern California. So many good people. Thanks for being here. How are you, TJ New Moon? Hope you're doing fine. So we do have quite a few things to cover today, since we had this Artemis, the NASA launching some astronauts. Okay, so let's start. Let me share my screen here real quick with a Bible verse, my favorite, one of my favorite Bible verses. It's right here. Go to my folder. So Hebrews 1 and 2, King James Version Bible. God, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken to us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things. And that was written in the first 40 years before the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem. Those were the last days according to the author of Hebrews. So quite a few things to talk about, a few shout outs here. Let me just remove this comment. Hope you guys are doing fine. I think that my sound must be okay. So let me shout out here to a couple of friends. David from Oregon. Now, last week I played a video by an Australian politician talking about he had been briefed about this whole alien disclosure. And some people was telling me that, no, that was an April Fool. He released that video on April fools, you know. Well, so did the NASA. They released their, they launched their mission on April Fools. Okay. Now, this alien disclosure, it's been going on for a while. Marco Rubio just had a press conference where he mentioned something. Here we have Republican Representative Tim Burchett says names, dates, peoples, and locations revealed in UFO briefings. That was in April 12th. It's a recent news. Okay. And we had the hearing about, I think it was a year ago, when they say you had military Pentagon officials all saying, aliens are living inside the oceans. So this is not an April Fool's thing. It's been going on, especially for the last 2 years. They're pressing, and chances are, in my opinion, they are pretty soon to announce, officially. We have a movie, I think, by Steven Spielberg, The Disclosure, out, and there's a movie out there. So that was not an April Fool's joke. That they've been talking about this stuff for a while. And of course, aliens, we all know that they are demons, but they pretend to be these species from outer space. So, of course, they got to release such things on April Fools because they're fooling the people, claiming aliens are those beings from outer space, when in fact, we know those are demons. And you see the sketch made by, I think it was, what was his name? Aleister Crowley. And he saw what he called a extraterrestrial, looks like a demon, So that's what they are. Another shout out here. First, let's take a look here at this whole central casting stuff, and I included there the TFE team because everything is central casting today. I have seen before on the Spanish news that this lady took part of a movie. I saw on the Spanish news for a couple of days ago, and now it seems like on TikTok people are showing that she took part of the Mad Max. Mad Max in 2015. She was one of the actors there. Not the main actress, but she was there. Christina Koch. And also shout out to my friend, the Flat Earth Deplorable. He shared some information that Witsit is back. And every time he goes away, he disappears. When he comes back, he has like set up a fund or some sort of Kofi funds, it's either $10,000, $20,000, whatever. And now he's back setting up another fund. So, some things, guys, you gotta, sometimes we have to understand that when we do things in life, those things have some sort of consequences. When this whole TFE thing started, and I told David Wise, those guys should not be involved with Duffy. Don't let those guys. But as you saw in the video, it's all good. David Wise was saying, it's all good for, for the flat earth and stuff. All shields, working together with Will Duffy. But as I told you several times, we had the situation in Brazil with a guy called Leandro. He was the Geron version, Brazilian version of Geron. But the thing is, they did that stuff in Brazil in 2023. And what happened is, he did it on his own, probably. His wife was a flat earther for real. So she ended up divorcing him, taking custody of the kids and everything. And shout out to my friend, Patron, Flat Earth Patriot in Canada. TFE and Artemis too have been very instrumental in bringing people to Flat Earth. Yes. So this guy, Leandro, he did what he did. He's sold out. And his wife divorced him because she was a true flat earther. She divorced him and she ended up keeping the kids and everything. So same thing with this guy, Austin Whitsitt. Now he has a custody battle his wife divorced him. And she said, one of those documentaries I uploaded to my channel by QOP. She said on this Discord that there is no 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And she knows that because she is was the wife of one of the guys who allegedly went there, you know. So people have to think that there are consequences in what they do. And these guys, it was bad for them. Not to Jaron, because Jaron was central casting. And I believe he and his wife as well, The more I think of it, Misa and Jaron, the show they had before, when you go back and listen to those shows, you see how fake they sound, And you can still find some of them on Odyssey, buried there. Or sometimes other people mirror those videos back in 2016. So you listen to Japanese Monday Raw, something like that. He used to do a show with his wife. When you listen to them now, like they sound fake. All right. So another thing that last week I showed, actually, yeah, I uploaded this video as a post, and some people were saying, "No, this is AI." I actually researched it, and I posted because I did some research. So they did practice, they did some rehearsal 10 days prior to being launched into the, darkness of space. So chances are this is not AI at all because they did, OpenAI said they practiced, they rehearsed everything. For 10 days prior to launch, they rehearsed all the live streaming, how they would do it, So I don't believe these are, CGI at all, AI at all. I think they did it on purpose. They released those images, on purpose because they practice this stuff. You can search yourself. 10 days prior to the launch, they rehearsed everything, all the being inside the capsule or the live streams. They rehearsed everything. They tested, So just like they do with the buoyancy, the underwater facility, they say they are just rehearsing, practicing, and then they use the same footage as real, This is a picture that I saved from NASA website. You see the size, so weird because you see the size of this capsule. And then when they are here, when they were live, it seems like so big from inside. And remember, there is a toilet here somewhere. It looks so big from inside, but at the same time, when they posed before outside of the capsule, it seems so small. And some people are pointing out sometimes the color is white, sometimes it's black, So there are some other issues going on. But here are them posing in front of this, and sometime before. And see, they are dressed up because they were supposedly rehearsing, rehearsing for this whole thing, So they don't walk around like that at NASA, no, unless they are going to space, Why were they all dressed up like that? Because they were rehearsing, allegedly, or making some footage prior to be released, just like they did at TFE. They filmed the whole thing at a studio or part of it, and when they allegedly arrived in Antarctica, they released the footage as being real. So it's just a movie production. All right, so before I play this video, I wanna share this one here with you. So they were speaking with Trump, the President Trump, and supposedly they had this minute. I think there was a director directing them how to act, how to do things. And the director must have told them to be quiet, take time before replying to the president. The problem is the president was responding like there was no delay in their conversation at all. So I added a timer on this. So take a listen this.
I spoke to a very special person, Wayne Gretzky, who I think you know, the great one. And I spoke to your prime minister and many other friends I have in Canada. They are so proud of you. And you have a lot of courage. I'm not sure if they'd want to do that. I'm not even sure if the great one would want to do that, to be honest with you. But you have a lot of courage doing what you're doing, a lot of bravery and a lot of genius. But they're very, very proud of you.
Administrator Alex, I'm going to just get a quick comm check, make sure you guys are still on the line and we didn't have a handover.
I am. Yes, I am.
So there was no delay, you know. I think they waited 1 minute exactly. I think they were being directed. There was like a movie director in front of them, telling them, you know, hang on for 1 minute, and that's what they did. 1 minute exactly. And then when they got the phone, the microphone, but Trump was right there, you know, and there was no delay between Trump when they spoke and Trump. So World Wi-Fi, they were on the dark side of the moon, you know, 230,000 miles away, and no delay. You know, when they replied, that Trump said, "I hear you," right there. You know, no delay at all. So a lot of inconsistencies there. Pretty much, they were in Houston, one of those facilities they have there. You know, so no delay at all. Right. Let me just check the comments here real quick. The proposed of the, let me see this one here. Got my reading glass here, guys. So the projector on the globe at Kenny's West concert did the same glitch like the glacier Antarctica. It glitched and it was dancing. Yeah, of course they use LED. We posted a video that flat out truth I just did on the picture taken on them. Supposed to have just returned. It said how fake it actually is. Well, you know, so many people. I mean, I've been watching those TikToks and Globers, not flat earthers. So many of them, like you know, they have given us, and especially me, because I do those compilations, so much material. One guy alone, he said he has over 400 videos to upload to TikTok of his own. And I had a doctor, you know, posting videos. I had so many Globers, you know. Lately, I mean, most of them are Globers that had like a rude awakening, you know. The reality sank in, you know, and then they are waking up, and that's sad. Some people are like, my life is ruined, you know. Some people are saying like, I mean, it's all a lie, you know. Some things that we have been saying and we have known for a while. So many of them are now waking up for this. Many Globers, and prayers for them. You know, I'm offering my support, whatever we can do, and but you know, just keep watching those compilations that are being uploaded, and I have had so much material, and I have a lot of them, a lot, because they are venting out their frustration. You know, so it's quite obvious. So there's another video that I want to play here. So this lady that she's being identified one of actress. Actually, you know, this guy says two of them are central cast. Let's remember this guy here, Duffy. Maybe he's related to Will Duffy. Who knows?
Astronauts that are on that flight, they're right out of central casting. Mike and Sonia are the two of the four American astronauts that are on that flight. They're right out of central casting.
Two out of those four are just out of central casting. So I believe one of them is the lady, because she has been identified as working in Mad Max 2015. She has an IMDb. Now, the other one that I want to show you is this one. After they come back, there was a press conference, and she glitched. And so I don't think she was getting the feed, the microphone on her earpiece. She didn't get it right. So take a listen to this one.
When we saw Tiny Earth, people asked our crew what impressions we had. And honestly, what struck me wasn't necessarily just Earth, it was all the blackness around it. Earth was just this lifeboat hanging undisturbingly in the universe. Uh-oh. So I may have not learned, I know I haven't learned everything that this journey has yet to teach me. But there's one new thing I know, and that is planet Earth, you are a crew. Yeah. Thank you.
Oscar winner, or one of the nominees right there. And she glitched. I think she said something she wasn't supposed to say. For example, the blackness of space, because they were showing stars. For the first time, some of their footage, they had some stars added. All right, and shout out to Victoria, because she shared this with me, this website, on pictures of the Milky Way. You see, this is in Texas, our place is in North America. See the sky, how it is. This is a calendar, January Milky Way. Then you have February Milky Way. Look how beautiful it is. I went to some places in Brazil. You see the sky just like that. I mean, it's impossible to count all the stars. Imagine being in deep space, I mean, you would see way brighter than that. No atmospheric, problems. You would see just the clear sky, just since they claim that the sky it's a vacuum. There's nothing there, So shout out to my dear friend Victoria for sharing this website. You see Milky Way month by month, and beautiful pictures. You see how the stars are, but somehow she is in space, and she claims to have a blackness of space. And I think that's why she glitched, like they were probably scolding her. Oh, you were not supposed to say that, and she said, uh-oh. She was in the middle of the conversation. There was no point in her pausing and saying that unless she was getting some feed, and she was being fed what to say. That's my opinion. Shout out to my dear friend, Albino Gallopini in Italy. He also shared his thoughts on the Artemis Bill casing and the Artemis mission. On the 50th anniversary of the publication of the book We Never Went to the Moon, a new simulation is taking place. The Artemis 2 lunar mission hoax highlights 3 truths already pointed out by Bill Casey 50 years ago. Number 1, the rocket took off but crashed into the Atlantic Ocean, far from the public eye. As we all saw, it curved, it went sideways and disappeared. Number 2, they like photographs showing planets and stars. And 3, overall, a paucity of visual evidence of the space flight. Yes, like there was this photographer, and he was pointing out he's a photographer, and he takes 3,000 pictures during a wedding. 3,000 pictures, raw pictures, and then NASA had 10 pictures they released. I think that's all they did, right? They released like 10 pictures, like officially pictures. Now, the other thing that I want to point out, I mean, this is so obvious, and anyone should question that. So this is supposedly the entrance, right? When they were returning. Now imagine being inside this tiny thing here. Let me pause for a minute, okay? So imagine this is the size of it. They are inside here. This stuff is 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, it's like 3,000 degrees Celsius. I mean, look, this is like a pressure cooker, okay? If you get a living cat or a living frog inside the pressure cook, lock it up and then get a torch, start torching the bottom of that, for, I don't know, 6-7 minutes, and to be red hot like this. I mean, you would not get those frogs or cats, whatever, alive out of that stuff. Somehow they came out all nice. And what battery kept them cool? Lasted for 10 days. What kind of battery they had in this module that kept them warm in the deep space, in the cold of the deep space, and then cold here while they were returning to Earth, inside this capsule right here, right? I mean, this gotta be central casting, of course. Close this here. Gotta be central casting because it's impossible. Nobody can survive such temperature. Nobody can survive such temperature. Another thing that I want to point out right here, there's a lot to talk about here. So first of all, just to recap the whole thing since April 1st, we saw them, hide inside those zip lines there. And while the helium balloon was taken off, they were being transported to some sort of black vans, unmarked vans, and then taken to Houston, where they would stay, or to a studio or something. This is one of them. We just a recap here. Now, this is what I wanted to point out here. Remember the letters appear, and here on TFE, same thing. You see there, CGI here. So we have green screen busted right there. Jonathan Mariande, another actor, central casting, part of TFE. And here you see, just like both of them, both green screen, all actors, you see more green screen there. Suddenly you see the sky, just like TFE, the guy's pointing out here, because here you see the astronaut, and then this thing here is they're displaying some other image like space or something, like, see there? And then you see this, the astronaut disappears, it's all messed up. And now this lady here from ESA, European Space Agency, she drops the pen, and she looks really, so a lot of actors. I think they, not just the majority, all of them are actors working for this, And the funny thing that I want to point out here is the Nutella thing, This Nutella, pretty funny. And I added on my compilations, a guy in Brazil, he added several more things flying. So easy to do it, if you have the right software, you can actually insert several things, just like NASA did right there. Check the comments real quick. I got a couple good songs to play today. Matthew Akin, we can see stars on Earth, but the astronauts can't see stars in space. That's fun, exactly. Astronauts. Some are breaking down their science, which AI isn't matching up. Yeah, some people are collapsing. Like I've seen some people going, crazy on TikTok, Globers, because, let me see here. They release pics that have no purpose. Hello. Yeah, they released before showing like the way they did. They rehearsed. So, supposedly they rehearsed 10 days and then they released those pictures. All right, let's play our first song for today. This is by Queen of Space. She comes up with some funny songs. So this is called Only Nutella.
You can't take glass up into space. If it's smashed, there'd be shards all over the place. Getting in equipment, risking lives. The crew might not return alive. You can't take human food up into space. It would rise and splat all over the place. The pressure might make the jar explode. Even if it's plastic, it could burst its load. Unless it's Nutella. Unless it's Nutella. Product placements are okay. They risked it all for some advertisers' pay. Unless it's Nutella. Only Nutella. After that, if you believe this mission is true, then no sympathy more fool you. It just happened to spin so you could read the label. That's a coincidence, it's not a fable. They told us a reason and we believe it. Nutella can go to space, they said so, just leave it. It's only Nutella. It's only Nutella. Product placements are okay. They risked it all for some advertisers' pay. It's only Nutella. Only Nutella. After that, if you believe this mission is true, then no sympathy more fool you.
Shout out to Queen of Space on TikTok. She comes up with some funny songs, and this is one of them. It's Only Nutella, and it's pretty disgusting. You watch that stuff, and they talk about how they eat. I mean, the whole time instead of talking science, the science of going to space, showing no, it's just silly, and I mean, you just see how silly they act. I want to share this with you guys. This is from one of NASA's websites. It's called the Artemis 2 Reference Guide. You can download. There's 128 pages there. If you want the link, I can share with you, but you might not want to waste your time. I extracted something that I want to share with you, okay? So 128 pages, but I share the most interesting parts here. So on page 22, page 78, page 79, page 95, 111, 116, and 128, you're going to see, look at this here. Okay, let's start with page 22. All right, page 22. These umbilicals are about 33 feet tall and provide liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen fluid lines, as well as electrical cable connections to the SLS core stage engine section to support propellant, and during pre-launch operation. You see here number 33 feet tall. See the magic number 33. Let's go to the next page. Orion's cabin has an habitable volume of 33 330 cubic feet, giving the crew about as much living space as 2 minivans. You see 33 again, right there. Gonna have some more. Orion's original designs require 33 welds to create the pressure vessel. 33 welds to create the pressure vessel. All right, there's more. Orion, the service module, is responsible for orbital maneuvering and position control. It's equipped with a total of 33 engines. 1 main engine, 8 auxiliary engines, and 24 reaction control thrusters. 33 engines, 33 welds. I mean, there's more. Operation checkout building, measure 33 feet in diameter. 33 again. The service module that will fly on Artemis missions has 33 engines in total. And here you see the habitable volume, 33 feet. They repeat the same information. But 8 times you find in this document, it's called Artemis 2 Reference Guide. It's online if you want, but just don't bother. I already did the homework. Page 22, 78, 79, 95, 111, 116, page 128. You see there 33, 33, 33 feet tall, 33 welds, 33 engines, 33 cubic feet, for their space, So lots of 33 put together, in this so-called mission to the moon. So, I mean, NASA lately just created more globe skeptics, created a whole bunch of flat earthers, people who had been creating content and they never talked about this subject. They came out and say, yeah, this is all lie, They came out like full flag flat earthers now. And of course, some people are, criticizing them. So there are a couple more videos that I'm going to show you about this mission, so-called mission, and then we should wrap up. I think, let me see my glasses one more time. Central casting, we did this. This one. So there's one more that I want to show you. I'm just upload here. It's about the stars, like, where's this? Right here. Okay, let me just upload this short video. The lady did a great job here talking about, okay, should be up in a minute. And so what's next for them? They are talking about going Artemis 3 in 2027, I guess, 2020, but it's pretty clear that all this is money laundering, because they're not going to space from beginning to end. We can see everything they did. It can easily be recreated in a studio. All right, so before we move on to the next topic, I want to play one more. This is about the stars in space.
I wonder, do you still see stars in outer space?
Look at her. Did you see the woman's face? She smiles, looks at the other guy like it's one big joke. And then he acts like it's a delay because he doesn't know what to say.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to my crewmates about that today. I've definitely seen stars in outer space, and I was saying I haven't seen as many as I thought I would. So, Reed?
He goes, here, can you finish this lie off for me? I don't know what else to say.
We have so much illumination from the sun on the moon and the earth right now. It is hard at times to see stars. Just like when you walk out in the daytime, you see a blue sky but no stars. We look outside and we see the black space and no stars. But tonight we're going to be pointed into deep space and we're going to turn out all the lights in the spacecraft for the first time on the mission. And if you give yourself about 20 or 30 minutes, we do this all the time on the International Space Station. Christina and I just have great fond memories of this. You'll start to see the stars, and if you give it enough time, you'll see so many stars. It's hard to see the constellations because there are so many stars out there. And the coolest part of those stars is they do not twinkle at all.
And then you see her in that glitch moment saying all blackness, there was all blackness, no nothing, no stars. So the same crew, just like in Apollo 11, when they say they saw no stars, and then Don Petit said, oh yeah, you can see millions of stars, You see in the same mission right there, one guy saying, yeah, there are millions of stars. And then I should clip those two together soon and put them, contradicting each other. One said that there's millions of stars, and the other person says, no, there's only blackness in space, nothing, you don't see anything, right? And there's one more thing that I want to share with you about this whole Artemis, hoax. It's the fact that, like, how on Earth, or in space, should say, this is the trajectory according to them. And remember, they're placing the moon very close because according to the heliocentric model, you measure Earth, the diameter here, and then you count like 30 Earths. It's so far away, so far away. So gravity, they say, oh, gravity is magic, because it does this thing. Magic is supposed to keep the satellites all around here. But at the same time, it releases this one to space, and then it goes, and then it gets caught by moon's gravity, but then the moon, which is capable of holding the oceans, like lifting the oceans, is not capable of holding this capsule around its, orbit, and that capsule that's only measured like a size of a van. But at the same time, the moon pulls the oceans from Earth, So many contradictions, so many stupidity, so many silliness. And my other point is like, how can they release those they call the geostationary satellites? They release into space, and somehow the geostationary satellites, they are stationed 20,000 miles above Earth's surface, or 30,000 kilometers. How can they stop? How can, if they are going, how can they stop like, okay, 30,000 miles, stop right there? How can you even stop things in space? Once it was launched into space, how can it stop right there, and remain there for, 20, 30 years? Some of them, they claim is still there, for like since the 50s or 60s. Okay, so a lot of absurdity, and they say, "Oh, gravity did this," And I gotta feel sorry, you must feel sorry for these people. I mean, many of us were blind like that. We were blind, we didn't see it. Now we can see. So some of them are seeing the truth, and we should help them, if we can, let's help them. I'll play one more song to close this Artemis 2 for today, and then we will move on. I want to talk about the little season. So let's play this song to close this part about the Artemis. Shout out to Steve McMenamy in Ireland for sending me this song.
Yeah. It's dedicated to the truth seekers, the ones living below the firmament knowing the deal. It's all good, baby, baby. Check. Yeah. It was all a dream, I used to read NASA tales, Apollo and Artemis, Hollywood veils. Posters on my wall every Saturday night, watching them stage the moon landing in plain sight. I let my tape rock till my tape pop, smoking herb in the basement, watching CGI flop. Way back when I had the red and black lumberjack, singing through the fraud like a laundry rack. Biggie,
Biggie, Biggie, Biggie, can't you see? This Artemis mission trickery. The casting is spell from a hollow chrome. All the masses just follow the tone.
Yeah, NASA's a cartel, Artemis is the hype, selling CGI dreams at $1 trillion price. No boots on the soil, just fighters in the room. Another Hollywood reboot, a high budget tune.
They're guarding the dome while they pickpocket the core. NASA's just a theater and we're kicking down the door.
Nixon had a landline straight to the moon, but Artemis buffering, man, it's all a cartoon. The cool mocking openly, farcical and free, sex, magic, and parson, seeking out the glee. Luciferian doctrine, spells casting a hex. Mach 39 entry, check the numbers next. 6 million on the path, witch doctor math. I see through the blimps in the inflatable path.
Check the wires, wake up.
Check the flicker.
Wake up.
The screen is a cage and the tension is thicker. The tether to the rafters, puppets on a string. Zero G theater of a Hollywood wing.
The horizon is flat, the water is level. It's a vault, it's a dome, and we're fighting that devil. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
NASA's a cartel, Artemis is the heist. Selling CGI dreams at $1 trillion price. No boots on the soil, just fires in the room. Another Hollywood reboot, a high budget tune.
They're guarding the dome while they pickpocket the car. NASA's just a theater and we're kicking down the door.
Yeah, check the trajectory, what's with the imagery? Every rocket launch looking like male anatomy. Giant wieners in the sky, reaching for the blue. Austin Powers told us back in '97 it's true. Blue, orange, and virgin, they all look the same. Just a bunch of rich boys play a tip with the frame. Curvy flight paths talking like a, oh you know. They ain't going straight up, they just putting on a show. NASA's a cartel, Artemis is the heist. Selling CGI June, got $1 trillion price. New boots on the soil, just wires in the room. Another Hollywood reboot, a high budget tune.
They're guarding the dome while they pickpocket the car. NASA's just a theater and we're kicking down the door.
Yeah, NASA MAFIA. We see you, liars and deceivers. Central casting actors and shield. Stan Kubrick on the track, directing the hits. Hey go, we out.
All right, guys. Shout out to Steve McManamin from Ireland for sending this song. All the songs, if you go to my channel playlist, Flat Earth Music, you find this one there. It's below. Just scroll down the way. It's one of the latest one that I added to the list. Couple comments here. Yeah, let me put on my reading glasses again. So, talk too long to see star, wouldn't be that long to begin with, yeah. Yeah, they had the windows there. They could see the stars, but a lot of contradiction there. So, shout out to Fake Flip. He's in holiday in Turkey, and he's got a better time zone there. And he is able to watch the show tonight. So, for some of you who don't know, Fake Flip from Brazil, he lives in England, in the UK. And he's a flat earther, and he's an oceanographer. He has a degree in oceanography in Brazil from a very reputable university in Brazil. He knows a lot about the oceans, and he has a book on tides. It's in Portuguese. Perhaps someday he will make a version in English, so we can share here. But he quotes a lot of the work of Leonardo da Vinci, because Leonardo da Vinci, he wrote about the tides, that the Earth is like a living organism with a heartbeat, and the tides are like when Earth breathes in and breathes out. Okay, and Fake Flip has a book on that, talking about this, and very interesting. And another comment there talking about that, produces tides 2 breaths a day. Now, I think Fake Flip says there are regions where there are 4 times a day, tides. All right, I want to add another video that I watched here. Now, let's switch topics, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about the little season. So let me add a video that I came across this week. I'm not going to play it right now. All right, so I will add this video here in a minute. We're going to talk about this video in a minute, okay? Let me explain my situation, right? I love you, brothers and sisters in Christ. I have no problem. I have friends. I have my good friends from Australia, from Earthen Vessels. They are Adventists. I love them. I consider them my brothers and sisters in Christ. Wonderful people. We talk. I had Chris Parks here on my show. He has a different point of view. And I have friends like Roger Taylor. I mean, not Roger Taylor. Rob Taylor, the helicopter pilot. He was on our show, on our documentary, Flatten the Curve. We talk. Sometimes he calls me here. Well, the other day I was in the supermarket. He called me, and we talk. You know, he has a Mormon background, but that stuff has never come up. You know, I don't really mind because I can't. You know, we cannot select all the friends like this. You know, like I live in Japan where 99% are Buddhist. I cannot live inside my apartment forever and not talk to my neighbor because she's a Buddhist. That's not the right way to live, you know. So I have no problems, you know. I love you guys, regardless if you are Baptist, you are Presbyterian, Catholic, Orthodox, you know. We are on this journey following Jesus Christ, and Christ is King, as I have here in my shirt. And you know, let's focus on that. Now, I have since last year, I came out as someone who have adopted the little season eschatology. I believe all prophecies were fulfilled in Christ. So nothing that was written before prophecies for 2026. I no longer hold on to that. I was a dispensationalist for many years, no longer. So what I now believe that we are in Satan's little season. So I get a lot of messages. Some people are really, some people are mad at me because I took this. I'm not mad at you if you're still holding this dispensationalist point of view. I once did, just like I believed in the moon landing once, you know, I believed in the globe once. But we got to move on and understand that the teachings from the 1800s, 99% of them are wrong concerning eschatology, you know. Even the translators of the Bible, the King James Bible, they knew the prophecy of Daniel had been fulfilled in Christ. So there's no gap in 2,000 years. But, you know, this is something that you guys will probably understand as life goes on. And to me, this stuff is past. I think all the prophecies are past. So I came across this video by a channel called Dutch Peasant. So I want to play the video here, and we will talk about it. Some things I agree. So let's go ahead and listen. It's a short video. It's only 5 minutes. So I'll play and talk about it.
The church teaches that Christ would return in our future. However, they do not base this dogma on the Bible, but on their academic studies. Their studies teach about church history in general and the manuscripts of the church fathers of the 1st and 2nd century. Their historic documents are the foundation of the dogma that Christ did not return in the past. However, independent research revealed that such documents do not exist at all. They were all fabricated after the 15th century. As a matter of fact, all consensus history has been fabricated and rewritten as an ongoing process.
All right, let me pause there because it's so important. I have a video here by Josh McDowell. Josh McDowell is it's like the guy from the movie Tomb Raiders, you know, like, forgot. These guys who goes and dig the past and stuff. I forgot the profession, archaeologist. Okay, he's an archaeologist. And he says, no, we don't have any documents, reliable documents below the latest, I think it's 1100, you know. Chances are all those fathers, church fathers, have all been made up, you know, because those documents are given by the Vatican, And if you look at in the 1500s, all those popes, the new popes after the 1500s, they are humanists. You see the pope who asked Copernicus to come up with the heliocentric model. They are all humanists.
Further research has revealed that previous to the 16th century, the church believed that Christ returned in their past and that the 1,000-year reign occurred in the first millennium AD. The Christians knew that the devil had been loosed in their past. Besides that, there simply exist too many historic records reciting the fulfillment of prophecies in the Bible. The abomination of desolation was fulfilled. Jesus' return in the sky for everybody to see was fulfilled. The clouds of angels had been seen by many. Even the recovering of the remnants of God's people occurred in the 2nd century AD. According to scripture, Christ prophesied multiple times 2,000 years ago that he would return immediately, without delay, and while his contemporaries would still be alive on earth. Even the gospel was preached in all the world. The church.
All right, there's I think it's Colossians, where Paul says that the gospel had been preached all over the earth, all over.
The church has been wrong about so many things. They teach that after Christ's return, there is no more sin. However, scripture claims clearly that not all nations would bring their glory and honor into the city of God. After the 1,000-year reign, there would be a period of deception and wars. Even within the acquiescing nations, there would be sinners living. There would be nations of sorcerers, whoremongers, murderers, idolaters, and makers and lovers of the lie. The nations who would reject the reign of Christ would live in outer darkness and be smitten with plagues and drought. And this is exactly the world in which we live today. The loosing of the devil with his accomplices started off a sequence of events in the demonic Renaissance. The world was conquered and the old civilizations were destroyed, resulting in worldwide slave trade. The great city fires destroyed all old documents. Secret societies took over the governments. Humanism thronged Christianity. The monasteries were dissolved. Apostolic documents were destroyed and replaced by fabrications. Futurism and dispensationalism rose. America was liberated by the devil. The world was reset. Adults were disposed of in lunatic asylums. Their newborns were seized and brought up in incubator centers for display and to be sold for pennies. The children were displaced in orphan trains, re-educated and sold as slaves to work on farms and in factories. History, heliocentrism, encyclopedia, chronicles were written by the humanists, erasing all theistic and apostolic events. The Dark Ages were fabricated to erase the 1,000-year reign. The demonic conquest of the world was conveniently covered up in the new history. God has taken away our part of the holy city because of the false teachings of the church. The only way that the nations will experience the reign of God walking in His light is by keeping His commandments. Unfortunately, both the church and the governments do not qualify and are therefore living in outer darkness, without the light of God outside the gates. When the church and the nations stop lying and bring their glory and honor into the city of God will reappear, the earth will be restored, and we will walk again in the light of God.
All right, that was a video. That was a video by a Dutch peasant. He's from Dutch, Dutchland, Holland. And he was also a dispensationalist, most of his life, just like most of us. And when you look at those documents and you see that, they are forgeries. How can you tell they are telling the truth? There's no way to tell. Those documents were given by the Catholic Church. And now also I had somebody from the Catholic Church commenting here. I have my family, most of my family are Catholics, and we don't have no problem. I know there are many people who are Catholics and they're just seeking the truth. And we talk about Catholics, I'm not talking about your neighbor, my neighbor. I'm talking about those in power who, like Vatican, has 50 miles worth of books hidden, and they don't let us know what's going on. They hide history, right? And those are the people that we talk about. Okay, let me see. I had this guy. I don't know. Sometimes I end up deleting videos that I had saved. I had this guy called. His name is Josh McDowell. Yeah, I completely erased his video from here. Anyway, he was here in Singapore, and he gave his lecture, a series of lectures, and he was telling, there are no documents. Those documents, many of them are forgeries. They end up finding out this Bible was a forgery, that Bible was a forgery. So it's very difficult. We are constantly you just see with the Artemis, NASA and governments. So the governments are lying. They lie about the pandemic. They so many lies, and the lies are in our history books, right? And so it's very, very difficult for us to find out. But anyway, that's my position today. I do believe that we are past the Dark Ages. Were most likely the kingdom, the Millennium Kingdom, and they erase from history. They say, oh, nothing happened during that. It's not worth looking at it. Nothing happened. But I think that was the best of the times. That's my opinion today. So I understand a lot of you guys, if you still hold on to this, I just had now on Easter, so many people saying the rapture was going to happen on Easter. Now they changed the dates again to September. They keep changing these dates, and I don't know. I am past that. I'm discovering new things. I think the little season is really where we are right now. Many more videos to watch, many more things to research and study. But that's my position today. And it took me a while. I first heard of it 2019. I said, oh, okay. I never like talk it down. I just say, interesting. That was interesting. Okay. I had no position, but I already knew that the 70 weeks of Daniel had been fulfilled in Christ. So I want to play a video here that someone was saying, Eddie, I can't believe you have this video. And I do. It's a very important video. It's not related to little season, but it's related about Google and the CIA. So take a listen to this.
All right, here's what looks like an objective image of the world. This is Google Earth, and it's a circular image, so it gets around the big problem of trying to portray the world on a flat surface. Now, you have a lot of reservations, don't you, about Google Earth? Yet, to many people, it's a wonderful application.
It is great technology, and that's what I first thought when I started doing the work on it. But I do now think that because of the way in which they have bought up so much of the data, which they fed into this geospatial application, is what they call it, they are monopolizing maps online. If you go online and you're using maps, you are probably using a Google map. And there's also some sort of sinister and worrying dimensions to Google, because they buy Earth Viewer, which is the application, and that is funded by the CIA.
This is the company that they buy that provides them with the ability to produce this.
That's right, and first came to prominence because it was a great way of visualizing bombing raids in the first Gulf War. And Google saw that and thought, we're interested in that.
I mean, that's interesting that the CIA government had a hand in funding it, but it's sinister. You say, why is it sinister?
Well, because we don't know how those applications were then subsequently used for military purposes. And I think Google at first struggled to work out where it was going to go. They were first using this application to sell real estate. And now they've worked out that what they can do is use it as part of their search capability, because we are searching now geographically. And that's why maps have become so important online today, because you search for something, you're searching geographically, not numerically or alphabetically, you're searching about where things are in the world. And that's why possession of this geospatial data is so incredibly important and profitable. This is about money.
Jerry Broughton, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
A very important video. Someone was looking for this video for so long, couldn't find, but I have it. So I decided to play it today. You see the role of government. You know, government is there to control. And so many people think, oh, Google Earth, you can see from space. No, this is a CIA application that's now being used, but they converted the data into a ball, you know, wrapping around the ball. But it's really a military geographical. That's what GPS really means. Your geographical position system, you know, where you are on this flat Earth. So they just wrap this information around the ball. So that's the clip that, you know, someone was saying, oh, you have this video. I've been looking for so long. So there you have it. I decided to play it today. All right, let's play our third song for today. I'm going to play a little season related. DJ New Moon, next week I'll play one of your songs I haven't played in a while, but I've been getting so many songs. I still got some more that I need to add lyrics to it. Sometimes, you know, my lyrics, the AI that I use doesn't pick the lyrics correctly. So I'm gonna play this one by Rick. I think this is Rick's. Yeah, let's play this one.
They changed the maps, they moved the lines, covered up the ancient signs, buried towers in the mud, washed the truth out with a flood. What was up is now below. Will the stars still tell what the preachers want? The world ain't round and it sure ain't free. There's a dome above and a glassy sea. 1,000 years he reigned in peace. Now the chains are loose and the wolves released. This is Satan's little season and the judge is on his way. The books were sealed, the old world crushed beneath the wheel. Brick by brick they tore it down, built their kingdom on hollow ground. But the bones of giants break the plow, and the bells of truth still echo loud. The world ain't round and it sure ain't free. There's a dome above and a glassy sea. 1,000 years he reigned in peace. Now the chains are loose and the wolves release. This is Satan's little season and the judge is on his way. Fire's low, but it's gonna rise. You can see it burning in the eastern skies. Don't trust the clocks or the paper trails. The truth still walks the ancient trails. And every lie that they lay down will be broken when that trumpet sounds. The world ain't round and it sure ain't free. There's a dome above and a glassy sea. He tried to hide his throne with smoke, but the winds were clear what the liars broke. This is Satan's middle season, but the king is on his way. So if your soul feels out of place, you might just be from a different age.
The veil is thin, the night is long, but truth remembers every song.
All right, shout out to Rick Hinckley for sending me this song. Thank you, brother. So a couple comments here. Some great channels on Satan's Little Season. Book of Life 144. I've seen this channel. Live in Babylon. I have been taught to. Actually, she watches the compilations. My TikTok compilation. We've been taught. We are supposed to have a show together sometime. She's busy moving. I think she has like a. I don't know if her mother or mother-in-law is living with them now. They are adjusting, so she's been busy. Jason Jack, yes, I've been willing. I don't know how to contact him, but if I find a way, I'll be willing to talk to him to have perhaps a show together. You see, Canada is in the house. Shout out, hello. And DJ New Moon, yeah, next week I'll download the song and I'll play it for you. I want to share my website here, so you can always check out, my content and subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet. If you want to support the channel, you can visit one of the links here. Perhaps you get a flat Earth map. If you already have one, you might want to give one as a present. We have two sizes. This is 24 by 36. There is one 18 by 24 inches. T-shirts, all that stuff. And if you want to become a Patreon, I have about 14 Patreons now. I appreciate. Thank you so much. If you want to join my Patreon, everything is free here. You can click out the links. We have maps. We have everything you can imagine. You can download for free books and maps. Unless you want to print, like I like print stuff, so I buy it. I appreciate it. But I have been uploading lots of compilations because NASA, TFE first, and now NASA gave us a lot to talk about. All these videos starting here, Artemis, because so many, and I still get more. So this whole week you're gonna see videos on the Artemis too. And so many new people like this one here. This guy is a doctor, and it's so sad to listen to him. I mean, his frustration, and that's called Will the Crew Get an Oscar for Best Performance? It's the one that I uploaded. So here you see his picture right there. So I've been trying to highlight people who are not flat earthers actually, but are coming out and questioning the whole thing, like this guy here and this lady here, and some of them who were in the closet, and now they are coming out. This lady, I didn't know she was a flat earther, but she is, So I put together. The thing is, a voice by itself. Sometimes you're looking, you find one video, and of course, NASA and the Globers, they are reacting to that. There is already a couple of channels on TikTok dedicated to making fun of these new people. All they do is to make fun, like the doctor. That's how they try to intimidate people from creating, from speaking out. And there are already 2 or 3 new channels similar to Simon Dan or Fight the Flat Earth, trying to make fun of those people. But the fact is, so many millions, I see in Brazil, I see in Portuguese, I see in Spanish, I see even Japanese, people are speaking out. Not long ago, there was a girl on TikTok. She watched one of my videos from Japan, and she said, yeah, let's look for the truth, So, yeah, people are waking up. All right, guys, let me see what else we have for today before I think I did everything. I played the song. So, as I said, concerning the little season, that's my point of view. I think we are in Satan's little season. Even the Geneva Bible said that, So after the 1500s, the Renaissance, just like I played a video on the earthquake in the 1700s in Portugal, they say there was an Illuminism. Illuminism came right out of there. So perhaps the Renaissance, they were preparing for the release of Satan. And in the 1700s, when he was released, he was welcomed by all those secret societies. Everything was already in the works for him, preparing for him. But the dispensationalist idea, no more for me. It doesn't work for me. Those prophecies are not meant for 2026. They were many. They were meant for the time of Christ. They were prophesied for the time of Christ. All right, guys. I think we are getting to the end of the show. I appreciate you guys for being here today. And since I don't like to finish, after like 1:33 or something, I'm going to go ahead and end the show. So I do appreciate all of you for being here today. It was a privilege. It's always a privilege having so many friends, my good friends here today. We're talking about Flat Earth. I love talking about Flat Earth. I wish I had time more days of the week, but I don't. But anyway, hope to be back next weekend, if the Lord so allows me. Christ is King. Christ is King. He's reigning in heaven. He's the priest. And all right, so that's all for today, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end the show. I don't want to end it like 1:30 past 1:30. I don't want to end it in the number 33. Thanks so much. I love you too, guys. May the Lord bless each and every one of you. And I'll see you guys next weekend. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.
Wonderful, magical, celestial light, fantastical, mystical, wonderful sight. Belgian Swiss physicist Auguste Piccard, 1931, first to reach for the stars, was the first to explore the air view stratosphereus, a scientist curious to see what was there. An aluminium black ball on a helium balloon, hydrogen with photos and instruments, sailed towards the moon, rose in just half an hour, 52,000 feet, 10 miles of depth air pressure, up a dead drop in heat and cold, but disproving gravity. Wonderful, mystical, beautiful sight, flat line separation of black from blue light, a world run by deceivers, false make-believers, hiding in shadows, stealing our light. Mystical, fluorescent light, wonderful, magical, awesome, yes, stealing our light. Wonderful, let there be light, supernatural, eternal, supernatural. Up we go, higher than rainbows, higher than mountains, above cumulonimbus, higher than air, high-level horizon, 360 around us, back right round behind us, any height that you dare. The sun and the moon both revolve above around us, to forever show time pass intelligently there. You'll never beat us, you'll never defeat us, no more you'll deceive us, keep through like air. Kipper and Picard were the first ever known to reach up there. Divine luminescent light, mystical, wonderful, celestial light. So what was their eternal testimony? What did they report back to humanity? Said it seemed like a flat disk far as eyes can see, with an upturned edge fading into infinity. A mystical, ethereal, celestial sight, a stars, explorers and physicists, Kipper and Picard. Never you'll defeat us, forever beneath us. We see through you like air.